Hey, it's Jahar. Welcome back to my channel, to the Witchy Reader. So I'm here with my mom. It's been a while since she gets started on one of my videos. We have started a book club this year, and basically one of us chooses the book that month. We read it, write notes, whatever, and then we come here to talk about it. And we didn't. We talked about doing this like months and months ago.
Yeah.
And then we decided to do that, but this starting January since the beginning of the year, but we didn't think about it until the middle of the month, so we gave ourselves an extra week into February to do it. So we have 3 weeks for this book, 3 weeks for the next book, and then it'll be the normal 4 weeks for every other book. So we had enough time to read the book and whatnot. So the book we read this month was Six of Crows. As you guys probably know, this is a reread for me because it is one of my absolute favorites, but it was first for my mom.
Yes.
She's actually watched the Shadow and Bone TV show, and she did love The Crows, so I got her to read Six of Crows because I was like, the Ice Core Heist is epic.
It wasn't that great, honestly. It wasn't you made it sound a lot more awesome than I thought it was.
I thought it was
What I thought was awesome about the heist was everybody was forced to deal with their trauma as well as forced to deal with their feelings for a certain person at the same time. That was what I got out of that, a lot of that. So, but Kaz is awesome.
She has a little crush on Kaz. She did when she first watched the show. She loves Kaz.
He's awesome. I think he's awesome.
I love Kaz too. But my favorites, I absolutely love Inej, Jesper, and Wylan would be my top three. But I love the other three as well. All the Crows.
Jesper
awesome.
makes me laugh. Jesper is hilarious.
Yeah, he's awesome. And who's your favorite ship?
I like Kaz and Inej. They'd probably be my highest, but right directly underneath them would be Jesper and Wyland. And they're like very, very close second because it was like a toss up, but Kaz won. And Inej is fucking gorgeous. Freaking sorry, she's gorgeous.
Oh my god, you mean the actress?
The actress?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's.
And the way they describe her in the book is awesome too.
Yeah, when people said when the show first came out, people said that the Crows, especially Kaz, Jesper, and Inej, just jumped right out of the screen.
Yeah.
Like right out of the page because like the three of them,
they did an awesome job.
Yes, the casting was awesome. As you guys probably know, because I've probably spoken about them on my channel, but Jesper and Wylan are my favorite ship. Yeah. But Kaz and Inej would be second because I do love them. Yeah. But I do also love Nina and Matthias. So
I mean, they're pretty good. I do like them together. I love how in the book it shows that Nina is constantly, purposely making him feel uncomfortable because I don't know if maybe it's because she is a heart render, so maybe it is the fact that she probably could tell that he liked her because of his heart rhythms. And I think that she knew that she could get under his skin, and she took pleasure in that. But she liked him, and he liked her. And I think at first it was her just trying to escape his clutches or whatever. But then after that, it was just like a cat and mouse game with the two of them. And it was hilarious.
What I love is that Jesper and Nina are both bicons. We love them. But do you know what that means?
No.
It means they're some people will say bicons instead of icons because they're also bisexual, so they're bicons.
That's ridiculous, but okay, go ahead.
And they are both huge flirts.
They are. They are.
They will flirt with anyone. They really do not care. And Matthias and Wylan get very flustered, so watching them flirt with the two of them is so funny.
That is hilarious.
But yeah, so we did write some notes. We just wrote notes as we were reading about, like, I don't know, thoughts, things we liked, quotes we liked, stuff like that.
Yeah. I will admit, when I first started reading the book, it seemed a little boring to me. Because this is actually, I tried to read it, what was it, about a year or two ago? And the first part of it was boring me. I couldn't even get past the second chapter. But since we started this book club and Jahar was the one, I had Jahar go first, she wanted me to read this, so I forced myself to read it. And I did have moments of shock. There was literally one moment in the book that stopped my freaking heart. It was like, no, please, no, because it was just it broke me. It broke me. I will admit that. What about you?
I mean, this was reread for me, but there were moments that I didn't really remember, or moments that or things that I thought of that I didn't really think of in previous reads. I don't think so. That's why I love rereads. Sometimes you can get a new perspective. It's been a
Yeah,
while since you read it, or realize something that you never realized. Like I don't think I ever really pay attention to the fact that all of them, except for Jesper, but he has his own trauma to deal with in the second book, kind of deal with like face their abuser or face their biggest
yeah,
trial. Because Matthias had to deal with Jarl Brum, which was also Nina's,
yeah.
um, for different reasons. And then Wyland
Wyland,
has to deal with his
yeah,
father.
his dad. Oh my God, the stuff that his dad said.
I hate Van Eyck so much.
Mm.
He's one of him and Helene are probably my least favorite characters. And Nesha has to deal with Helene. Um, and then as you guys know, she hasn't read Crooked Kingdom yet, but as anyone who's read Six Crows knows that Jesper has to deal with his father in second book. His father shows up.
Is his father a horrible person?
No, but Jesper has issues with other things. One, he feels like he kind of
Oh, we'll
okay.
get with that in the second book. We're worried about the first book now. But for me, I thought it was also hilarious that they not only dealt with their trials, they kind of got over on them. At least Inej and Kaz did. Because when she had to face Helene, Inej ended up stealing Helene's most precious diamond. And that was
That
her
was
way
awesome.
of not only dealing with her trauma, but putting a stick to her, And then, of course, I like how she grabbed her throat and stuff too. Showed that
Because
she
she
was
was
no
starting
longer
to
that
back away
child.
from her too. She was
Yeah,
scared, but then she was like, "No, I'm not gonna let
I'm
you
not
put me
that
into
girl anymore.
yeah."
Yeah. But with Kaz, when he had to deal with that Pika Rollins guy who doesn't remember him, he ended up stealing a bunch of crap from him just to prove that he could. It's like, I'm not going to destroy you now, but I will in the future. I will
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. So the two of them get some of their comeuppance, but so does Van Eyck.
Oh, I'd like to see that eventually.
Oh, you're gonna love that scene. I cannot wait for us to read Clear Kingdom because there are certain scenes I really want her reaction to. I loved it because we were sitting on the couch while reading it at some points, and watching her scream at one scene was hilarious. I was laughing at
Oh,
her.
okay. I was not surprised when Brom ended up throwing Nina into the cell. I really wasn't because um, it takes a lot to surprise me, to be honest, when it comes to books and movies and stuff. But so I when he threw her in there, I was like, okay, she didn't fool him like she thought she did. No biggie. But when Matthias showed up at that window, I literally had to stop reading because it just stopped my heart. I was like, no, please, no. I was like, no. I just literally sat there staring at the wall for like 10 minutes. I just couldn't go back to reading. I was like, I can't do this. This was just so upsetting. It was literally upsetting. But then, but luckily afterwards, when he started walking away with Brum and he started talking to him. And I was like, these are kind of questions you would interrogate somebody about. So then I kept saying to myself, I'm still holding on the hope that this was all a game. This was just a trick. And luckily I was right because like I said, that part broke me. I almost did not want to finish reading out of fear of what I was going to find next because that part just killed me. It really just killed me.
What did you think about the scene when they met with what's his name? Van Eyck.
Oh yeah, that. See, when the ship blew up and Nina and Weiler were supposed to be on the ship, but I know Cass well enough to know that he's not stupid. So when the ship blew up, there was something inside. Like I said, it takes a lot to surprise me. There's something inside of me that said, "Okay, I don't think they're dead. I think that he had them moved because he suspected something." Kaz is not stupid. So to find out later on that I was right, that Kaz did get them off the ship. But what broke me at that moment was when, what's the guy's name? Kuwait?
Kui is
Kui?
how I pronounce it. I might be pronouncing
I
it
just
wrong.
referred to him as Bo's son. But anyway, so when I found out that Bo's son was actually Wyland, I was like, "Oh my god!" That surprised me. I didn't see that coming, but it made sense how Jesper kept saying that for some reason Bo's son was sitting next to him constantly,
I love this.
and then to find out it was actually Wyland. Then I was like, "Oh my god, that makes so much freaking sense!"
I love when Jesper talks to Wyler. As you guys know, they're my favorite ship. But I love when he's like, what if it's permanent? And Wyler's like, why do you care? He's like, I don't know, because I like your stupid face.
Yeah.
And then he said, when he realized about standing next to me, he's like, how many times was it you standing next to me on the ship? And he's like, every time.
Yeah, that was
What do you think about the Kaz and Inej talk when she said, I will have you
Oh,
without
well,
armor?
considering I seen the TV series and I knew that was coming, it was very emotional because he has severe trauma and you get why, but you also get why she cannot
Settle for less.
settle for less after everything she's been through as well. I'm sorry? Yeah. And so I was proud of both of them for standing up for what they want. But it was really nice to hear Kaz say, "Please don't leave. Stay with me because I want you."
How much?
Half of it.
I just put the whole thing in then.
Yes.
But yeah, I get why they both, had that turmoil. But
Yeah. But it was nice, excuse me, that both of them stayed to what would make them happy rather than, even though both of them honestly wanted to be together, it was nice to see them both know that even though they loved each other, they couldn't settle for less to make
it's
them
like
happy.
sometimes love isn't enough. It's like the whole conversation about whether or not you want marriage or kids. That's not something you can really compromise. Marriage,
exactly.
maybe, but kids isn't really something you can compromise.
Yeah, because
one of you is going to be unhappy if you feel strongly about either wanting it or not wanting it.
But I was proud of Kaz for finally telling Inej how much he loved her.
Because that was a big step for him.
Yeah.
He had trouble saying his feelings out loud.
Yes. But you could tell when Inej got injured in the book,
Yeah.
you could tell just how it's like Jesper was fighting his feelings to Wyland, but Tyson and Nina were both fighting their feelings to each other. Inej and Kaz were fighting their feelings towards each other. Inez and Kaz were fighting their feelings towards each other. But everybody knew. It's like, I'm not going to show her that I love her, even though everybody around us knows, And it was like that with all of them. And it was like they were all fighting. And it's like just like Nina and Matthias, as well as Jesper and Wyland, loved pushing each other. It's like they loved annoying each other just simply because that was the way they could get a rise out of the person without having to admit they had feelings.
Because honestly, all 6 of them, they're all still teenagers. So first of all, love is kind of a hard thing for teenagers to understand. At least this kind of love. But also, I mean, they've all been through some hell, and I feel like they all had issues for different reasons and in different ways of truly expressing themselves.
Yeah.
What did you think about the revelation that Jesper's betrayal?
Oh, yeah. Kaz saying that he doesn't think you could ever trust him again kind of hurt me. Because I know Jesper did not do it on purpose, but his affliction to the cards and alcohol makes it hard for him to keep things quiet. And he does become a liability to the group by doing that. And he would need to literally stay away from it if he wanted Kaz to trust him again. And I'm hoping that Kaz does trust him again.
Yeah.
Because I think they have a brotherly bond. I think they do. Because I think both of them care about each other. Even though Kaz has a big habit of not admitting his feelings towards Jesper or Inej. I know that he loves both of them. But, and I don't think Jesper would have ever done anything purposely to hurt him or Inej because, especially since Inej got hurt,
Yeah.
I know that has to eat at Jesper knowing that he was the cause of that.
Oh, it does in the second book.
But still, I don't know if it was a surprise or I wasn't shocked by it, but I wasn't like, oh, that figures, you know?
Yeah.
How I usually am. I was like, oh, okay. But it wasn't like shock, so whatever. But I was shocked at the end when Kaz went to Roland's and got money. He gave him the Crow Club. What? Why?
Because for the plan to work and to get Inej back, he's gonna need money.
Well, I figured he gave it away because Inej was more important, which was great. But at the same time, I was like, he loved the Crow Club.
He loves Inej more.
And that's what's the beauty part about it, you know?
The fact that he was willing to give up something that matters to him for
because at the beginning of the book, he was so cold, even to Inej, that it's like, does this man really have feelings at all for anybody or anything? And then here he is giving up what was his most prized possession for the woman he loved. And that was like, I was like, oh my God, did he really just do what I think he just did? And so, yeah.
Two of my favorite Jesper and Wylan scenes. One of them, which is one of the most famous ones, is when Jesper says, makes it hard to flirt with girls. And then Wylan says, just girls? And Jesper's like, no, not just girls. Because there's like, because I watched
I could picture Wylan blushing at that moment. I really could.
I watched some of the Shadow and Bone cast interviews one day because I was bored. And there was one where the actors that played Jesper and Wylan actually reenacted that scene.
Oh, really?
Yes! And it was so funny. One thing I also love is when Jesper says, stop being dense, you're cuter when you're smart. And then Wylan says, then Wylan says something, I don't remember what he said, but then Jesper's like, definitely cuter when you're smart.
So I think Jesper, in little ways, was letting Wylan know he was attracted.
Yeah.
But without flat out saying it. Yeah.
There are oh my gosh, I cannot wait until we read them. There are some scenes I just want your reaction to, like, so badly. But there were some quotes I really liked. I liked when Nina says, is it called something different when you murder in uniform? Especially with everything going on right now with ice and crap. I really like that because that's basically what they're saying.
Yeah, because that's what the military does. Any military of any country, that's what they do. They kill innocent people all the time, but it's not called murder when you're in uniform, and it's wrong either way. But that quote really does hit hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Were there any quotes that stuck out for you?
Honestly, I did write a few of them down, but it was
where to find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I wrote several things down, and I'm not sure where to find any of my stuff. Jesper knows everything. I've got to say, or not Jesper. Kaz knows everything. Like Kaz knowing the truth about Wylan being Benek's son, and then Wylan was like, "How do you know?" Or when he was, I know there was one time closer to the end when he knew that Matthias wasn't actually going to shoot him. And Matthias was like, are you going to, do you just know everything?
Well, just like when Matthias noticed that Brum was watching Nina, and he immediately said, we've got to save her. And then in the next chapter of Kaz, it mentions Kaz saying, I was banging on his feelings for Nina. Because he knew if Nina's feelings were strong, if Matthias' feelings were strong enough for Nina, then he knew that he was going to be loyal to the Crows
for Nina.
Yeah. It's just like I think they all stay loyal to the Crows because of somebody else that's there. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Well, I think that was Nina, Wylan, and Matthias, because because technically the Crows were Kaz, Inej, and Jesper. Nina and Wylan had helped him with certain jobs, Wyland did it for money because now he's living in the barrel.
Yeah.
Nina did it because she's also for money because she's trying to stay there until she can get Matthias out. And then Matthias ends up joining them when they break him out of Hellgate.
First he did it for his freedom, but I think part of that was still Nina.
Yeah. I love when Matthias is like, one day you're gonna run out of tricks, and then when they were trying to figure out a way out, he was like, "You said I was gonna run out of tricks one day. You were right." What did you think about Nina taking the journey of harem?
I think I had the same reaction. Like I said, it's one of those cases where I was surprised but not shocked. Because I'm hoping, because I've not read the second book, but I am hoping that I'm pretty sure of it. Just take a wild guess that Nina doesn't become addicted. But right now she's showing signs that she might be. But it said that most people don't get addicted till their second stash. That's probably why she's fighting so hard taking a second group, because she knows that there's
no turning back.
Yeah, she said there's a 50% chance she's gonna get addicted with the one, but there's no way back if she takes the second one. So she's trying to fight that to see if she can get through it, which I'm hoping she does, and I think my brain is 95% sure she does, but I won't know until I read the second book. But it was nice to see her bring down those people. But what I think was really nice, when she wanted to kill them, and she did want to kill them, even on the drug, Matthias put his hand on her shoulder and was able to talk her down. See, and I think that in itself shows that she could fight the effects of this.
Because Cass, Jesper, and I'd say, I guess Nina and Matthias are both kind of headstrong sometimes and stubborn, or whatever you want to call it. Nina and Matthias can ground each other, which they both need, honestly. Yeah. Jesper and Cass can be chaotic and dangerous, and Inez, even though she can be dangerous too, she's more grounded, and she can ground Cass. And then Wyland is very grounded; he can ground Jesper.
Yeah,
just by,
and they need that.
Yes, they do badly. So I love how, because we don't know how long Jesper, Inez, and Cass were working together before the start of the book. We don't know an exact time frame. We know it hasn't been like too long because they are still pretty young, but we also know it's been long enough.
Yeah.
To the point where they have, even though they all have trouble trusting sometimes, they trust each other enough.
They trust each other with each other's lives.
Yeah, which is a big thing to trust with. Yes. And because there was a couple times where Cass was like thinking, and then Jesper was like scheming face, and Inez was like, definitely. Just little signs like that, you could tell that they know Cass better than probably anyone else. Yeah. I was gonna say something else, but
they do seem to know what each other's thinking a lot. Just by the look on their face, they're able to be like, okay.
They were working together for a long time.
Yeah.
I think in Crooked Kingdom, Nina, Matthias, and Wyland start seeing it too, because they start hanging out with them more and stuff. There was one scene I absolutely love, and I don't know why I love it so much. It just always makes me laugh. And it was when Cass was like, "What's the fastest way to steal a man's wallet?"
Oh yeah, I love that scene.
And then she was like, "Knife to the throat." Jesper was like, "A gun to the back." Nina was like, "Poison," and then Matthias was like, "You're all horrible."
But then, as the book goes on, you start to see Matthias getting in that same mind frame as them. Yeah. You know? And that is great.
Another scene I loved was the ghost chat.
That was
funny.
I'm gonna have what my ghost, hot your ghost.
Jesper was like, I'm gonna have if we all die, I'm gonna have Wyland's ghost teach my ghost how to play the flute so I can annoy the hell out of your ghost. Cass was like, I'll just have my ghost hire Matthias' ghost to kick your ghost butt. And Matthias was like, my ghost isn't associated with your ghost. And then it was in his point of view, so he was like, what have I become?
Exactly, like I said. Throughout the book, you start to see him becoming like them. He's getting,
even though he doesn't want to.
Yeah, he's fighting it, but at the same time becoming it without realizing it, and that was funny. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to bring to attention? Anything?
I don't think so.
Oh, I also love because we talked about Matthias becoming more like them, right? In the chaotic sense, because he was very orderly.
Yeah.
Wyland becomes more like them in the chaotic sense too, because he was like so. He seems so much more down to earth at the beginning.
He also
but
seems
then
shyer.
he
Like he's
is.
not willing to take risks. And the fact that he took that big risk at the end, pretending to be both
Huey
sides.
also telling Cass that's his affliction, which one thing I absolutely love, which I made note of, was how because when it was showing that flashback of Wyland telling Cass that he can't read or write or anything, showing them come up with a plan that they end up doing. It was a Cass's point of view, and he says, this boy, which is basically the same thing Jesper says later on to Van Eck. He was like, this boy can do this, 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 and this, and yet he can't read and write, and that's what you focus on? And Cassie was like, why does it matter?
Focus on his strengths, not his weaknesses.
And I love when Jesper tells Van Eck off. He was like, your son is smarter than all of us combined, so what if he can't read or write?
And that's the whole point. It's like he only could focus on his son's weaknesses. So I don't think anything Wyland did would have been good enough for his dad. His dad disliked him and was not going to wait on that at all.
And I wonder if it has something to do with Wyland's mother. Makes me wonder.
Do we find out about her in the second book?
Like right here it said Wyland said, or where they drown you and make you confess when talking about the water. It's like, and then Jesper's like, Wyland, your thoughts have taken a very dark turn. I fear the dregs may be a bad influence on you. Or when Wyland was like, what do we do with these guys? Do we kill them?
Oh God, we can wake them. Oh my God.
Jesper's like, I don't like to kill unconscious men. And then Wyland's like, we can always wake them up. And he's like, man.
Like, see, I don't know. See, that's the thing about it. I don't know if it's ever a bad influence or is it just your true personality finally coming out. Because if you didn't already think things like that, even with bad influences, you wouldn't, you're just showing that there's a part of you that does think like that, even though that part's usually hidden, there is a part of you that does that.
So, out of all, there's 6 characters, and yeah, you get more of their character arcs in book 2, obviously, but from the beginning of book 1 to the end of book 1, which character arc did you like to see the most? From who they were at the beginning to who they ended up at the end of book 1.
I don't know. That's a hard question because I think several of them made a big. I mean, like the beginning of the book, Kaz was very cold to everyone, and in the end of the book, he starts from the middle to the end. He starts showing that these people mean everything to him because he was starting to feel like he was losing them, and so I like to see that. But then I like seeing Wyland go from being this meek, scared person, be willing to die to help Kaz and Jesper and them out.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see Matthias not go back to the mindless troll that he was.
There was another quote I wrote down that I really liked. When Matthias confronted Brom, and he says, I don't remember his exact words now. I know I wrote it down somewhere. But he was like, you focus on like hate and anger, and it's a poison I can no longer drink.
I wrote that. Yeah, I wrote that down too. That was very nice.
I absolutely love that because you always say how it's hard whenever you're trained to hate on something, or you trained when you're taught something wrong, and it's really hard to rewire your brain to say, hey, this isn't right. Because sometimes you're taught that hate and anger and fear and whatnot. Just like when Nina was like, we're done with fear, because at the end of the day, it was fear. It was the Matthias' people fearing the Grisha. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, that's what it was about. They didn't understand it, so they chose to fear it and hate it.
At the same time, they wanted to use their power to hurt their enemies.
Exactly.
It's like
to build their fortress.
Because they don't want them to use their power against them, but they want to harness their power to hurt other people.
Pretty much.
It sounds to me like Matthias' people are just horrible people altogether.
They are. But yeah. But I think that concludes our thoughts for today on Six of Crows.
Yes, and next month month of February is my turn to choose a book. And even though, yes, I do want to read Crooked Kingdom, I chose a different book. Let me see if I can find it.
I'll probably be choosing Crooked Kingdom in March, just to let you guys know.
I wanted to read a book about Mary Queen of Scots. She's an interesting character, and I've watched the show
We
Rain,
love that show.
and I wanted to read a little bit more about her relationship with her cousin Queen Elizabeth, and what led for them to be thinking of each other as cousins to becoming pure enemies. So I have a book called Queen Elizabeth I and Mary Queen of Scots: The Controversial History of Cousins Turned into Rivals.
Because we did make some ground rules about what books we can choose, because she's big on nonfiction, which I've never been big on, but I am interested in women's history, like the King Henry's Six Wives or Mary Queen of Scots. I am interested in characters like that. She usually reads true crime, which I'm not interested in.
Yes.
So the books she chooses will probably be stuff like that, still nonfiction, but about history. And I will try to choose fantasy that I think she'll be interested in, because she does like fantasy sometimes. So, yeah. But I'm excited for this because I'm also interested in Mary Queen of Scots, especially since I love the show Rain
I'm
so
not
much.
big into reading fantasy, but I will if it intrigues me enough. Like I do read Jahara's books, and of course that's because she's my daughter. But there have been books that I have read, like I've read the Rise of the Guardian books and stuff. So we're trying to keep it where there's something.
There's some interest in it for
Yeah.
either person. Okay, so thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and comment if you read Six of Crows, and if you have anything else you want to say, and I'll share with you guys below.
Or if there's any books that you suggest that
we give a try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, until next time.
Bye.